but the true and actual Rocksteady crew member, DJ JS-1, a.k.a. Germs.
Yeah, so here we are again.
Yes, here we are again. Nothing changes. Another year, another album.
We're just older.
More gray hairs.
I drove here listening to Mr. Voodoo in my car. Yeah.
Lyrical tactics. Yeah.
DJ Riz.
Shout out to Riz. Oh man. So this album, it's interesting because you kind of like kept it quiet, and then just like, you know what, the album's out. It's here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, at first I really wasn't even gonna follow through and do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just being honest. You know, it's not easy. You know, I was just talking to DJ Skiz about putting together producer albums.
Right.
You know, it's we should be sponsored by Advil Migraine.
Sure, of course.
Yeah, it's not an easy task doing that. 20 songs every time, 21 songs, 40 something rappers on it.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
It's difficult. So I wasn't sure if I really wanted to deal with it again, but I had a bunch of stuff recorded, and when I decided that I did want to put it out, not waste the material I had,
right,
I just figured at this point now, you know the deal. The attention span is short.
Yep.
Sites post stuff. You know, half hour later they post another thing.
Yep.
So I figured if I was talking about it too early, posting stuff, showing the track list and the cover, it would just kind of be gone. And at least once it's out and available like it is now, I just kind of wanted that week or two to just have that full impact. And you know, it's not like I'm trying to sell 1 billion copies, but it worked for what I wanted to. This week I've been on a lot of the sites, and people are talking, and you know, the retweets and the posting. So it's kind of cool. I wanted to keep it kind of under wraps.
Right. Okay. Now, as far as, you know, your albums are pretty straightforward, you know, beats and rhymes, and this one sounds pretty much in tune with the rest of them. Do you give any direction to the MCs when you're giving them the tracks, or you just say do what you're gonna do? And
well,
aside from tracks that have sample abuser in the chorus,
Larry David. Now, well, the first thing that I do is I try my hardest to get them to pick certain beats.
Okay.
Because I have my own taste. Right. And I like my own type of things for certain people.
Sure.
You know, it doesn't mean that my best beats are going to be used. It's more so of the beat that I think certain person I want to hear this certain guy on. Yeah. So that's the first fight. Right. You know, usually they're like, yo, I want the banger, I want the one, you know, and it's like, all right, we're not doing that. I don't have, like, Hot 97 is not going to play my record all day long. Don't worry about it, you know? So that's the first struggle. Right. And then some people I do have dead set ideas and I try to focus on them. And then other people I kind of trust and I like what they do. And as long as they're willing to go on that track, I know that their vibe is going to fit that track well. And then, I go with what they go with. Okay. So it's a mixture of both, but I do try to control a lot of it. Okay. Because sometimes, you know, not to knock anybody else, and that's not even a specific person I have in mind, but it's just sometimes when I do hear producers do stuff, I feel like they did let the control just get out of their hand, and a song's just made just to say they got the guys on the song. Right. And, no doubt. And I just kind of really want to force my thing on the song. That's why it's my album.
No doubt. How many songs? I haven't done the math on it, but how many songs on the album are you actually also cutting on?
Oh boy, most of them. I mean, I think every song has cuts. Okay. I think all 21 songs have some kind of cut. Okay. And then maybe there's only a few with a vocal hook, and actually the one or two, I wrote the vocal hook.
You wrote the vocal hook?
Yeah, I did actually.
You didn't sample Jeezy?
No, that was a thought, but you know, we don't go that route. But no, yeah, actually, because I have things that's the next part about it. When you're making these albums, you have things that you want said, or you want a certain person to go in a direction, and you know, if you don't give it to them, it's just not going to happen.
Right. Yes. You know? So how long did you? Okay, let's do it like this. Which artist made you wait the longest to get the verse back in?
Well, there's a few I'm still waiting for. so I'm hoping that by next album, you know, maybe by 2017, we're gonna work that out. But not, some people. Listen, if the whole world could function like KRS-One, and I'm sure maybe not everybody had the same interaction, but if the whole planet could have the relationship that I have with that guy, things would be quite nice. You know, or like somebody like Bill. You know, Ill Bill's great.
Right.
You know, I'm like, Bill, this is the song. Yeah. It's done.
Right.
Eric's sermon was remarkable.
Okay.
We spoke, and 2 hours later, the song was done.
Nice.
And I couldn't believe it because I thought it was going to be a struggle just because of who he is. You know?
Of course.
And then there's other people that it's just like, wow, really, you know. I mean, Torre was decent. You know, he's a superstar now, so it was a little tougher. You know, he's big time. But,
yeah, shout out to Torre.
But
we're talking about Sirius XM's own Torre.
Yes. Yeah. You know, he was actually he was happy that he got to get on the track with the Blastmaster.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So that was kind of nice. You know, when I did on 2 albums ago, Chino XL, who actually did one of my favorite verses on my albums. I really love what he did, but that took a while.
Right.
Yeah, that took a while, but it was well worth the wait.
Sure, of course.
And I know what I'm getting into when I make these albums.
Right.
You know, trust me, I'm not going into this thinking this is going to get done in a month.
Sure.
So I do put the feelers out, you know, wait. Like some of this stuff I was actually working on when I put out the last and No One Cares album.
Right.
A lot of this was already in the works because I know what it's going to be.
Exactly.
So, you know, we just keep moving along, and I am proud of the fact that, I mean, this is the 6th album I put out, and it's, you know, 80 to 100 different MCs over time, and, and I got to do what I like on them, and, you know, people are receptive to it, and I feel that it kind of fills a little bit of a void. You know, it's there's a lot of great music that's out that I love, but it's just, you know, it's an artist. They do their album. Some of them are like compilations because they get so many guests on them.
Sure.
But as a DJ that likes to focus on a lot of the scratching and then mix in some of the underground indie guys that I love, you know, like to have a Breeze Brewing on there is great.
Yeah, shout out to Breeze Brewing. Shout out to Queen Heroin. Brody Slim.
That's what I always felt.
Right.
Because you know, a lot of people, like, I love Mobb Deep, you know, but that type of stuff to me was commercial.
Right.
You know, we were on the Mr. Voodoo and you know, in a Pac FM. Like that's, you know, Wordsworth.
Right.
So I always try to make sure that I have those people on the albums as well, where, you know, it's cool to chase just for a name sometimes, but those guys, to me, they're the name in my field.
Of course.
So I always try to like have them, and then, you know, mix the legends in there, and, you know, of course, OC's usually on the project, and KRS, and try to do a nice healthy mix. Happy that I got an all-female song on there. With female MCs that I like. That was really cool. You know, there's a lot of dope female MCs, but I felt like they weren't all reaching to each other to do songs. Right. So I kind of tried to put that together, and I'm happy with that.
Now when you're putting these songs together and putting, you know, pairing up MCs, are you doing that all on your own, or are you telling people like, all right, I'm going to put you on this with such and such and such and such, or
a little of both?
Okay.
You know, some people are easier to deal with. Some people might be like, you know, I don't want to do that one or this one. But for the most part, I do try to tell certain people. Okay. And then obviously, I mean, once somebody's on the song and I send them the song, they're gonna hear who's on it. So if they really if they're not too excited about it, they'll let me know. And
those are the people that are sending you verses still.
Yeah, basically. Well, that's another thing. I could just tell you this. Listen, when you're gonna make songs, to anybody that's interested in doing songs and getting featured artists and stuff, listen, you just got to stand your ground. And it's like, look, you can't let other people dictate what you're going to do. If someone's that much of a headache, just move on. It's not going to make that much of a difference in your life.
Right.
You know, I mean, to be honest with you, if I had Jay-Z and Lil Wayne on my album, it wouldn't sell an extra 10 copies because the people that like my stuff get it. The people that don't like it don't ever listen to it. It don't matter. You know,
not even 10, maybe 11, maybe 10 copies.
I mean, honestly, 10. I mean, Talib Kweli had Jay-Z and Busta Rhymes on the song, and it really didn't. You know what I'm saying? And he had push behind it, and it wasn't. It's still just the Kweli fans buy the Kweli stuff. It's just. I mean, you know, you get the point of what I'm saying. Basically, you know, you just do what you do, and don't chase anybody or worry about it or let them dictate what you're about. That's all.
Yep. We got JS-1 the place. We're gonna go into another joint off the album. So far, we heard 2 joints. We heard Sample Abuser.
Yes.
And we heard
Artifacts.
The Artifacts Reef.
And Reef, joint. Yes. Who mentioned you because you did help me.
Yes. What was the name of that song?
That's Show Shocking.
Okay. There we go. We heard those 2. And right now, we're gonna hear the OC joint.
Yes, I dig this.
Which is also available.
This I dig.
On 7-inch.
Yeah.
Turn the Tables with some fresh artwork on the cover.
Well, listen, if you're a DJ, you want to get that because this has the acapella on the B-side.
Woo! So you can scratch up 7 inches.
Yeah, so you could scratch up all those nice, lovely DJ phrases on there.
It is what it isn't. Is out there right now. What formats is it on?
It's available on CD. For those that still get CD.
Right.
That song you just heard with OC is available on 7-inch vinyl.
Right.
And of course, it's downloadable legally, and I'm sure illegally. And you could stream it and send me 0.0002% of a cent if you want.
There you go. Did you read the article, the RIAA? Like they show the picture, like there's no platinum records this year.
Yeah, basically.
Sales are going down for everybody.
Yes, it's nice. You go on Pandora, you listen to my song. Yeah. If you listen to it 4 million times, they'll send me a check for like $120.
There you go.
It's awesome.
No doubt. It is what it isn't.
It is what it isn't.
When you made the album and you sat back and listened to it, did you know like right away that the OC joint was going to be the lead single, or was it a toss up between that and something else?
Well, nah, honestly, I knew I kind of knew I was going to go with the OC, and just for the main reason that first I just really like the song.
Right.
But if you listen to all my albums, there's at least one song on there that's kind of DJ, like like the throwback to the old DJ records.
Yep.
And I just love doing those, and that's what I do. I like doing the scratch hooks. That's what we love. We come from that era, and I just figured like there's not that many of those being made.
Right.
And the DJs that are like myself and the people that I see that appreciate my records, which are a lot of DJ kids.
Right.
I'm like, that's for us.
Sure.
Although OC's on it, he's a great MC, but the rappers get their time. The MC, it's always about the MCs.
Right.
So this one, it's thank you DJs, and this is what we do. There's still tons of them out there that play this type of stuff.
Sure.
It's just they don't always get the most light, but so that's for us.
Right.
That's how I looked at it.
Have you done an all DJ record?
No, but I have one in the works.
Okay.
Yes.
There you go.
I do have one in the works, actually.
All right.
That's been going on for a long time.
Is it take longer for DJs to turn in their cuts?
Yeah, you know why? Because the MC, the MCs they're slightly critical, but they do their verse. Sometimes it takes them a long time because they're just doing crazy things in their life. It's not a competitive thing.
Right.
But the DJs though, they're still trying to figure out how I slow down the Pro Tools so I could do it and then speed it up, and how do I shift my scratches over and edit it and all that. And I'm like, all right, calm down. Don't worry about how somebody else did their scratches. It's a lot of that. Like, no, but did you hear what he did? And it's a very competitive thing again.
Okay, well that's no worry. That's for the next one. It is what it is. And what made you settle on that title for this one?
Well, first of all, it's kind of funny to me. It's taking a common phrase and putting a little twist on it. I was a little annoyed that after we decided to come up with that, there was somebody used it in a commercial.
Oh, really?
And it wasn't that popular, but I did see, I forget if it was a beer commercial or somebody, but they used the phrase, which annoyed me a little bit. But the real thing behind it is that, today everything's social media driven.
Right.
So everything's about likes and views and followers.
Yep.
And in order to gain that, everybody's out there in that world now.
Right.
There's no filter like when you used to have to put out an actual record and get on a label or distribution.
Right.
So in order to get those likes and followers, it's kind of about doing something ridiculous. It's like everybody's sitting back just hoping to get a viral video, basically. And in order to get that kind of stuff, you got to be the cat that falls off the couch, kind of.
Right.
And that means just doing something idiotic, or you got to have a crazy haircut or a crazy facial hair, or wear your pajamas in the street.
That's how Pete gets likes.
Yeah, well, there you go. And it just gets a little annoying. It's like it's about everything except the music and except who you are and what you're really about. It's just trying to really come with gimmicks. Right. And we grew up our whole life like don't do that.
Right.
And it's just that it is what it isn't. It's really about what it isn't. It's just like, yo, look at this guy. Did you see him? He was rapping upside down in pink pajamas. It's sick. Like, show your friends. Everybody, click on it.
Like we just did with the other dude before the show.
And you're like, yo, how's the song? I mean, is he?
But that's the difference is that when we see stuff like that, we look at it and view it, but we're mocking it and joking it.
Right.
And then we move on back to our normal good music.
Right.
Whereas everyone else is kind of stuck on that.
Just get stuck on
it.
And then that's the guy, and then they're like, oh, it's crazy. If you go to a show, he takes his clothes off and he sweats on me, and then he hit me with roast beef. It was great. And you're like, what? Did he have a DJ? I don't even know, but it was crazy.
Did he do it? Did he do any songs?
Right. They gave out glow sticks, and everybody was jumping around. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, so it is what it isn't, and it's just to the point where it's like, enough already. I got it. Enough.
Yeah.
Like, let me hear what you can do. Like, can you rhyme? Can you what are the beats like?
Right.
Are you coming from somewhere? And then also, it's I know Illmatic, it's great. Like, I love the album. You know, they had different producers on it, but the stuff we grew up on that was the best stuff was made by the group,
right?
And it was a collective of the artists with a producer and a group, or his group. And now it's just beat CD driven, or get a couple of these guys, get a few of those guys, and it's like, well, am I getting you, or am I getting all these other guys, and you just rapped on a few things,
right?
So it's like, it is what it is, and that's not really you. I don't really. And so I can't connect with a lot of people because I don't even know what I'm getting.
Right.
The song's cool, but is that really you?
Sure.
Or it's like, all right, you know, like, I got you. You know, you spoke to somebody, they convinced Premier, he agreed. You know, I got it. That's cool. But I mean, I know I already like Premier. I know I like Premier. Right. So I'll play your song because I like Premier.
Right.
But I don't know you yet.
Sure.
And it's, you know, it's just, it is what it isn't. That's how I feel about a lot of stuff.
And it's funny because, you know, this conversation I had years ago with the whole J Electronica thing.
Right.
When Exhibit C came out, and obviously he was around before that, more underground, Exhibit A and all that, and you know, and I had heard some of them, and I was like, it's cool, you know, it's you know, he sounded like a mixture of Killer Priest and you know, someone else, and I was like, it's cool, but the beats weren't really hitting me. Then Exhibit C came out, and I was like, yo, it's undeniable. He made a great joint, and everyone was like, the tides are turning.
Yes.
Hip hop is saved. It's back. And it's just like, no, like it never left. It's like it's been here.
It's there.
And I'll play you 20 other MCs just as good, if not better, making continuous better songs.
Yes.
This is one great song. Let's see what he does next.
Let's see where it goes.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and then like, what happened? You know,
little tricky.
It is what it isn't.
It is what it
is what it isn't.
You think it's one thing? It's definitely not. You know, and it's hard because that's what, when I go back and I listen to these older albums, it's like you get in a mood.
Right.
You know, there's a feeling to it. You know what you're gonna get.
Right.
You know when Muggs and Be Real and these guys walk in a room, you know what you're gonna get. Mm-hmm. You know, they make the album.
Right.
It's you know what you were getting from Gangstar because they made the album.
Right.
So it's just really hard when you know, you get in a collection of guys that you might like their beats with a collection of a couple DJs that you like their scratches, and then this guy threw some verses, and it's just, you know, they come out alright, but it's just lacking in something that, you know, maybe I don't even know the exact right word, but it's just something's missing that that you don't always connect with, and you know, for myself, some people say that about me. It's like, well, you got all these different people rapping on the album, as well as because I'm not rhyming on it, but that's definitely me when you hear, like I said,
everything else. The beats, I mean, scratches. It's all orchestrated.
It's definitely coming from me, a lot of that. Mm-hmm. You know, so you're getting how I feel, and I feel like there's not really a lot of records made exactly like mine.
Right.
I'm kind of proud of my, you know, being able to put that together, and I do hear that from a lot of DJs. So it's not just me saying it.
Right.
A lot of kids are telling me, like, I haven't really heard too many projects like this, and I kind of, you know, it makes me feel good about that.
Of course.
I'm still, you know, keeping that going. We'll see where it goes from here, but you know, now I got to put out everything I put out. I got to do a 45, a T-shirt, a USB drive, and a sneaker.
You go. And a sneaker. You gotta get the sneaker in there. There's some tight pants.
Right. Headphones that match. Yeah, it's just a lot. But I mean, you know, you gotta stay with the times too. So I understand that. I do understand trying to keep the sales going.
Speaking of staying with the times, some of the newer generation of MCs, you got Rashid Chappelle on here.
Yes, I love Rashid.
You had Homeboy Salmon on here, right?
Yes. Which let me tell you.
What?
I know he goes left sometimes on people. I understand that, but I love him for it.
Yes, of course.
And I love that he's having success being him.
Mm-hmm.
And he definitely doesn't, you know, he's gonna do what he wants to do.
Yep.
And that's what I was talking about. When you listen to him, you're getting him.
Right.
And I love that. There's a few times where I'm like, all right, he went a little far for me. I'm trying to check it out. But he's a great MC. He's a smart individual.
He is.
And you get him, and I love that. I do love that. So I definitely, I'm a big supporter and a fan of Homeboy Sandman, definitely.
No doubt. So how many MCs exactly? Do you have an exact count? Or
I don't know. There's a good 40-something, give or take. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I tried to put some of my boys on there this time. on the last track, just some of my friends that were always hanging around rhyming with me.
And what is this STCAF?
That's facts are backwards.
Ah.
That's because your facts are backwards.
That's what the chorus cuts out.
Yeah. Because your facts are backwards.
There you go. Good idea. See, that's good. I like that.
I'm so clever.
Thinking man. Thinking man. All right, now let's get away from the music for a minute and let's talk about the writing.
Well, I love graph. Yeah, yes. I love graph. You know, I've been doing that longer than I've been DJing actually, since a kid, and it was I love art. Right. I always loved to draw, and the graph thing. You know, I put it on the side for a little while, touring and stuff. I would do books, and here and there in a couple other countries, I had a chance on a day off to do some stuff. But over the past year or two, I've been trying to stay home, stay with my son, and got the graph bug again. And I told everybody, I was like, look, if I start this again, we're gonna go. It's, you know, I'm home now, so we're gonna roll with this. So we've been going nuts. Yeah. And it's been great. I can't lie. I feel really great. Staying home right now is nice. You know, I'm not no schnitzel, cold schnitzel.
Shout out Germany.
You know, I'm feeling good about that. I don't have to eat anything that I really didn't want to eat. Even though schnitzels are right, but it just sounds funny. Yeah. But just being able to stay home and do graph constantly. Right. And get these pieces out. I'm progressing with that. I'm having fun. Right. And there's money in it, which I never looked at it like that because, you know, we're graph writers. We just do it to do it and show off. Right. And there's money in it, and it's real money. And, you know, we've been taking some of that. It's nice. You know, last night we were on CNBC for graph on a show called The Prophet. Nice. You know, and they cut us a check to do graffiti. Nice. And we painted some gyms. Today I just came from painting a spot in Bushwick today. Okay. And, you know, it's real money, and I'm very happy about that because, as we all know, in New York City, the DJ gigs, unless you're going to DJ in a strip club, which, you know, they don't really want to hear my crab scratchers in a strip club. They got other crabs in the strip club. So they... yeah, well... So you know, DJing for drink tickets thing, it's just not cool. And I'm gonna be honest, I just put my foot down. I just don't want to do it. I'll DJ. I'll find my own way to DJ my own thing when I want to do it at some point. But I'm just not doing it. I don't want to do it. And I'm gonna hold out. I'm just gonna do my graph. And if I seen the money, if people seen the money that they're paying us right now to do murals, the DJ thing is just not. It's just not doing it. It's just not working.
Now, I see a lot of stuff that you post online on Facebook and on Instagram, and a lot of them have themes. You know what I'm saying? They have themes. So,
that's right.
Of that stuff that has themes, you're just mentioning now that you're getting paid for a lot of murals. Yep. Is some of that stuff ideas that telling you we want something like this, or is a lot of that stuff that you guys are going into it with, like, we're going to do this?
It's a little both. Okay. You know, the stuff that's not, obviously the stuff that's not paid murals. I mean, that's just all stuff we come up and we want to do. The paid stuff, a lot of the times they'll see some other stuff we did and say like, hey, we've seen you painted a train. Can you do this train or the skyline? That's a big hit all the time. Everybody wants a train and a skyline. But, you know, something like we painted a gym and the guy wanted like a Spartan warrior in the Rome Coliseum. Okay. So, of course, you know, we paint that for him. Gotcha. Today we were painting, it's a new cafe that's opening up in Bushwick, and they had specific things that they wanted inside, so we paint that. And it just depends. When we did the thing for CNBC, it's a giant clothing store. And they just let us have free reign. They wanted graph, which is really great. Nice. You know, so we got to do stuff from like a rest in peace for our boy DG to just doing pieces. Right. Is, I mean, that's when it's like the greatest moment. Okay, so
let's take that as an example. So now, what, you know, is there a process to, like, you sit down and map out? Okay, we're gonna do 10 pieces. We got this many walls. Let's do and get an idea of everything you're gonna do ahead of time.
Be honest, not really. We kind of, I mean, yeah, we like to freestyle it and wing it a lot of times. You know, sometimes we'll have references. Right. Like we'll go online if we're gonna paint some, you know, a zombie wall. Right. And we'll just look at some zombies from The Walking Dead or something. And be like, oh, that would look cool, something like that. Right. And just use it as a reference. Sure. But for the most part, yeah, we just show up and we just paint, and that's when, you know, that it just comes out of you. And what's fun with paint, it's different than like if you're drawing with a pen or a marker where you can't erase it. Right. Paint, you just go back over what you did and you keep going over it till you like it and you get it right. Right. And it's a progression, and there's tricks to the trade and getting used to it, different caps, different cans, different things. And you know, this year we painted so much that I'm in the groove right now. And it's funny, is like I feel 18. I'm excited. Like I'm up 6 in the morning running out the door to go paint. If you've seen the trunk of my car right now, oh boy, there's 200 cans in the trunk of my car just ready to go, you know, and I feel great about it. Where I felt sometimes when the calls were coming in to go on tour,
right?
And I'm like, no, 16-hour flight to Schnitzelland, you know, I'm gonna get on this plane. This guy's gonna try to serve me some crazy food and rush me to sound check. You know, which the shows are great.
Right.
If I could hit a button and only do shows,
sure.
But of course, it comes that other 23 hours a day. It's tough, and you know, so right now I just feel really good. I'm actually happy. I don't really hate everybody as much.
All right. This is 2014, a new JS-1. Rocksteady crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can always catch JS every anniversary.
Yeah.
Down.
Having fun. I actually enjoy that. You know, it's the record.
Okay. Yeah, but you're not supposed to let it play to that point. Jeez.
He knows.
Every record ends.
Every record has a beginning and an end. Right, except Rapper's Delight. That just goes on.
Say my name at the end.
And then, aside from Googling your name, is there anywhere else specific you'd like them to go look for?
You know what?
Name?
If you're on Instagram, which I mean, a lot of people are, even Eclipse is now.
Yes, I am.
So at DJ JS-1, the number 1, and since Instagram is more of a visual thing, that's where you can get to see a lot of the graph that I do that I've been doing lately, and there's a lot of cool stuff up there. You know, just check that out.
Yep.
And you know, as far as the grafting goes, we're real writers. We came from the era of real graph, and although I love art, but the street art thing is getting a little carried away with people stenciling beavers and otters and stenciling Marilyn Monroe. It's like, all right, you didn't draw that. It's a computer image, and you're stenciling it.
Right.
And it's cool, and I understand. I'd rather look at that than a gray wall, but you know, we're about about letters,
right?
You know, and we came from the era of wild styles where there's a funky way to make letters flow.
Right.
Some people might not be able to read it, but it's still an art form.
Yeah.
And we like perfecting that, and we're trying to keep that going too.
Right.
And there's room for us, and a lot of the stuff is going towards those other guys.
Yeah.
And you know, we do street art.
Yep.
They do art in the street.
Yep.
Which is cool, but the real street art is those real graph guys out there that are really still doing it. So we're just trying to keep that going too, you know.
Right.
So just be on the lookout for some real graph and support those guys. I know they wrote on your father's van or your mom's gate, but they're good guys, you know. They're keeping that culture going too.
Shout out to Topaz.
Definite shout out to Topaz. And if you want, this Saturday, Topaz opened up a store in Harlem. It is on 2 East 116th Street, right off 116th and 5th Avenue. Production X, and it's a custom art store. You can get almost anything done on anything artwork related. I will be there Saturday. We will be drawing in black books, drawing on some maps.
Nice.
I got my album there. Come in, hang out. And also shout out to Poem, who's re-releasing a new edition of Flashbacks magazine. For all the graffiti heads, Flashbacks is a great classic magazine, and they got a new edition, 72 pages.
Nice.
And yeah, we're enjoying it. You know, we're having some fun right now. Graph is back.
Very nice. Yeah. Shout out to my man Cope too as well.
Oh, indeed.
And shout out to FaZe too.